Hello, everybody. I am Shvok, and today I have the wonderful pleasure of coming back and running a game from one of my favorite franchises. This is Black Mesa, which is a remake slash reimagining of the original Half-Life by Valve. This version was made by a great group of folks over at Crowbar Collective, and you can go out and buy it on Steam right now. And you should do that. And joining me today are the one, the only, the Kovic, and the one, the only, the real Johan von Vors, who's the previous world record holder, but no longer.
Oh, unlucky. Maybe next time. Hey, for this category, I still am.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, when I'm concentrating really hard and stuff, they're going to be talking you guys through stuff. And that being said, I'm ready to go when you guys are.
Go, go, go.
Go, go,
go. Alrighty. Absolutely. So I'm going to give a countdown, and then time starts when Barney disappears off my screen. And Kovic, I'll hand it over to you. So we'll go in. Let's see. So loading. So 3, 2, 1. Go.
And he's gone. So what happened here is a trick we call the first tick save load. Basically, the engine in this game updates 64 times per second, and if you do a quick save and immediately load the same quick save on the first tick when you load into a new map, it messes up the way the map is instantiated, and it breaks a lot of things. So Barney just disappeared from the face of the earth, and what it does for us apart from that is that the elevator at the end of this map is in the wrong position. It's supposed to be at the bottom and it starts at the top, the other way around, and so we can fall down the elevator shaft immediately. I don't have to ride it.
Anyway, elevator shafts are boring, but you know what's cool? This clean, buttery movement we're seeing on screen right now. So the Resonance Cascade isn't the only accident that happened here at Black Mesa today, which I guess spoilers, but you'll be seeing it more soon. The other accident that happened is that Gordon here, our scientist, sat in some butter. Now, as a result, every time he crouches on the ground, he has almost no friction. So if you're familiar with other Source games, there's like B-hopping and air strafing. We can air strafe on the ground while crouched. And when we air strafe on the ground, we build up speed way faster. And so you're going to see initially whenever Shvok here wants to start moving, he's going to start strafing back and forth on the ground to build up a bunch of speed. And then eventually he's going to transition into more jumping because that gives him a little bit more control. And here's that elevator that Kovic was talking about.
Beautiful.
Fantastic.
I hate it when I sit in butter.
Happens to the best of us.
So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Did I get it?
Wait, but you're breaking the rules. You can't do that.
For this part, I will, just to save us, just in the interest of time.
You got to get it. If it's, okay.
Okay, so I should probably explain what's happening here. So the desk has really wonky geometry, and you can get stuck in the side of it. And in the Source engine, when you're stuck and you do a save load, you save the game and load the save while you're stuck, the game moves Gordon downwards a bit. And so Shvok just did a bunch of save loads there in the same spot, and the game moved him downwards through the floor and into the lower hallway, which skipped a cutscene of sorts where we are locked in the room with Dr. Kleiner and he has a spiel.
Yeah, Dr. Klein is really annoying. Now, normally for the category I run, I can't do that. And for the rest of the run, I'll be doing normal strats for my category. But we have two main categories, no void clip and no clip. I usually run no clip. And in no void clip, you're allowed to do prop clips like what I just did, where you clip through solid objects, but you don't go into the void, hence no void clip. And then no clipping is just that. You're not allowed to use any... You're not allowed to clip through any solid objects, so no clipping.
So long story short, run's already invalid. We got to start over. You really have to reset in a
This is no reset. That's not allowed.
Unacceptable.
I would like to endorse the message of no reset.
We have a very sharp divide in the Black Mesa speedrunning community where we have a handful of runners that are intent on like perfection, and so the run itself for the full game is almost 2 hours long. So there's a lot of room to mess up. And so a lot of times what matters the most is literally just getting through it. Some people don't see it that way, so they reset on the first 3 levels over and over again. Other people are intent on just getting through a run, and so we have very strong community debates about the topic of resetting very, very frequently. And from what I understand, it's the case like that in a lot of speedrunning communities. So
I claimed a small victory on, what was it, Tuesday, when Shvok was practicing and he was not doing that well, and then I told him that I forbid him from resetting that evening, and he PB'd by a minute.
Over a minute and 12-second PB this past
Over a
Tuesday.
minute. Wow.
What a shame. So, if you've ever played Half-Life before, more or less, the gist of this game is you're a scientist, you work at a secret research facility, not secret, but underground research facility that's enormous, and we're about to have a little bit of an accident here, and everything is just going to go very, very poorly for everyone. There's going to be aliens and whatnot, and space, and the military is going to get involved, and where this all starts is right here, right now, in this little test chamber here.
Yeah, so Gordon's magic, when we push the sample into the test chamber, and Gordon's going to do this with the power of his mind. I'm not going to touch the cart. I'm not using my hands. Get ready. This is peak speed running. Peak speed running.
Oh, this is like
Here we go. Here we go. Ready? Watch. No hands. Don't let me down.
Here
it happens.
Comes.
Bam.
How does he do it? Incredible.
What is it? Telekinesis.
So I don't think we know exactly why. So normally you have to walk into the back of the cart to push it. I don't think we know exactly why that works, but my theory is that the game doesn't check if you're pushing it. The game just checks if you're in contact with it. So if you just stand on top of the cart, you're in contact with the cart the whole time, so it just keeps sliding it forward. And actually,
it's just collision detection.
It's actually a plausible explanation.
Yeah, and as a result, you actually save 1 tick versus if you push it. But you know, 1/64th of a second, that adds up in a 2-hour run.
I love how that's actually mildly fast.
Those ticks matter. Those ticks matter. Alright.
So here we get a glimpse of Zen. As I fly to the ceiling, because you can manipulate physics when you teleport.
Yeah. Game does slow-mo in very strange ways, so...
Yeah. Source engine, TM.
Indeed.
Not heavily modified.
Very.
All right, so now most of the boring stuff is done. Now the run is basically going to go high octane, and it's not really going to slow down from here on out.
You say that like we don't have another minute-long cutscene coming up.
Oh, that's true. I forgot. Okay, one more cutscene. My bad.
This is probably the most frustrating part about running the no-clipping category in particular, is that anytime you want to start a run, you gotta like... It's on and off gameplay for like 8 minutes, and then everything keeps going. But man, those 8 minutes, after you like have a really painful reset, sitting through them, it hurts.
I wouldn't know what that's like, ever.
So now the world is falling apart.
You guys mind if I chime in with a quick donation during
ahead.
this whole
Actually,
cutscene?
yeah, it's a perfect time to do it.
So we have Naram Gamjan, who is basically telling you guys that using CL show POS is objectively cheating. But don't worry, guys. That's just a joke. Good luck on the run. Naram came in with 354. Thanks a lot, Naram.
Thank you very much.
Thankfully, we're not speedrunning CSGO, so it's okay.
Yeah. So, Johan, would you like to explain what happens if you don't move the debris here out of the way and teleport them? Or what can happen? Because you have first-hand experience.
Yeah, we have a very careful procedure here. You'll notice that Shvok has all these props in his hand to teleport Eli here. If you're familiar with Source speedruns, usually you do this to save time. This doesn't actually save any time, but very important, it teleports Eli past some props on the floor. If his toe comes into collision with, comes into contact with some of those props on the floor in the perfect way, he just detonates, just instantly. No build-up or anything. He just like stubs his toe and explodes. It's a self-destruct button. And so Shvok, being the very safe runner he is, makes sure to teleport Eli, so there's no chance of that sort of unfortunate explosion happening. Anyway, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go! Now the run picks up. No more cutscenes. Only going. Uh-oh. This is a very important cup here. This cup is very well built. We're going to use it to smash straight through a window. You heard it here first. Indeed. Truly.
You can notice that we don't have the crowbar yet because this is not Half-Life 1, but a reimagining, so they made it a bit more spooky by not giving you the crowbar for another level.
The imagining part comes in where you just have to imagine that you have the crowbar for like 20 seconds before you actually get it.
True story.
There it is! Woo!
So this game, these early chapters are for like movement tech and stuff are deceptively hard because there's just so much that you can get stuck on, come in contact with, and it's been the bane of very much frustration for definitely myself and a few other of the Black Mesa speedrunners as well.
Yeah.
These first few levels are deceptively hard to navigate movement wise.
Yeah, it's like the benefit and also the consequence of like I'd say just like higher resolution game compared to like the original Half-Life. The benefit is we like slopes in certain situations, and we get a lot more slopes to mess around with to do funny boosts. But the downside is that there's also a lot more random like edges and corners to get caught on that might not be apparently obvious.
Autosave?
Yeah, sorry, I really screwed up there.
Autosave. Maybe? There we go.
Yeah, my bad. I thought I quick save because it's just muscle memory for me to quick save there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Every Black Mesa speedrunner has habit at this point of oh, not again.
I swear I'm a competent speedrunner. Holy crap! All right.
Maybe next time. Every Black Mesa speedrunner at this point has just sort of a tick, like every 5 seconds they just hit the save button because you never know when things are gonna go wrong in this game, and it's just good to have a save prepared just in case. Of course, the downside is sometimes because of that just automatic response, something bad happens, and then you make a save, overwriting your previous save, and then things get in sticky situations, which is why we had a little bit of confusion there. Because Shvok saved immediately after getting caught by the barnacle, which getting out of that barnacle takes like 15 seconds, so...
And then some people might say that using quick save is cheating, sincerely console gamers.
I mean, we've already broken the rules, so what's one more?
So you do have to be careful sometimes with these barnacles here, because if they get a barrel in them, they have the tendency to shoot them out at warp speed, and it will insta-gib Gordon and the stewards there.
Yeah.
Physics engine moment.
Indeed.
So Kovic, do you want to explain what I just did there, the concept of save deleting?
Oh yeah, suddenly weapons appeared in his arms. So we're playing on Windows, and what we can do is we can make a save file with an invalid name, like semicolon, and then when you try to load that save, the game doesn't have a file, and so what it does instead, it does a like a fail save, and it reloads the map into a default position, which includes weapons, health, and armor set by the developers as what a normal player is supposed to have in that moment in the story. And so we abuse that in this speedrun to refill health and ammo constantly, like almost every map. There are some specific maps where we cannot do that for different reasons. And one of those reasons is actually the next chapter, where we cannot use the save delete glitch, because you can notice that Shvok has 2 grenades, and we need those grenades for a boost that skips a pretty major part of one map.
You're basically skipping the whole thing. And also, later on at this next boost, Kovic or Johan can explain quantum pausing, which is what also a technique that I just used there to skip that bridge, which probably skipped a good, I'd say 10 minutes or more of gameplay easily, depending on how familiar you are with the mapping and routing in the game.
I've done that like grenade over the bridge skip so many times at this point, I don't even remember what the map looks like casually. It's been a good while. Anyway, so quantum pausing is a very neat very neat and unique thing about Black Mesa in particular. Basically, we have a bind that opens the console and then runs the unpause command. And the opening of the console like technically pauses the game, but like not the same way. And then when you unpause, what ends up happening is that the world continues simulating, but Gordon himself remains frozen. So this makes it really easy to time grenade boosts where you maybe have to jump right as the grenade explodes. You just jump, freeze yourself in the air, and then wait for the grenade to explode. And then you just unpause, and it's as if you just jump the instant the grenade exploded. Which you'll see coming up right here. There's several friendly zombies in this room that we do not want to interact with, so Shvok is just going to take these grenades.
And that skips the entire freezer section of the game. And I think 2 puzzles or 1 puzzle?
Certainly a lot of
Depending on the
valve
version.
burning.
Yeah.
And for that sort of trick, you need the quantum pause, because what he did before, there was a boost with just 1 grenade, and then it's more like a timing aid. But then when you want to do 2 grenades, it wouldn't work without the quantum pause, because when the first grenade would explode, the other one would just go flying across the room.
Yeah, that's a very key detail about just this game in general, is that the way we boost ourselves is just damage gets converted into speed. And so yeah, when you're quantum paused, you can still build up speed from damage, and so it's very useful for stacking together lots of hits. Anyway, this is We Got Hostiles, and a long time ago, this was everybody's favorite level. And no clipping, I think it probably still is. Just a lot of very simple movement and a lot of movement and explosive boosts that you use a lot through the run. So a lot of what people get into Black Mesa speedrunning for, this is what this level is all about. Uh-oh, is he gonna be a friend? No!
It's a coward. He runs away.
No!
There we go.
Not letting us show off.
Oh, yeah, so
That was still way faster than riding the elevator. Way faster.
Oh, delicious.
So yeah, what he did there, he stacked the melee attack from the soldier to go flying upwards. That's like a bunch of velocity almost for free, because the melee attack doesn't even do that much damage, but gives a lot of speed for some reason.
Yeah, that soldier is particularly finicky because he very much wants to kill a scientist behind you, and you have to be very good at distracting him from that other scientist.
Yeah, this is a big brain tech here where we just stand on top of that button and jump up and down to hit the change level trigger faster.
So those ticks, those 3 ticks, they matter.
It's a
World of
big
difference.
brain strats there.
Here we get one of our first Black Mesa bangers. Compared to... So in the No Void route, we skipped this level entirely, which is a shame because it has some pretty nifty music. That's why a lot of times I like to call the no clipping category. Well, that sort of thing happens a lot, so I like to call the no clipping category the Black Mesa musical experience. Joel Nielsen, the composer for the tracks in the song, absolutely fantastic work. And look forward to enjoying these songs here, as we mostly just listen to the first 15 seconds of them, as they don't keep playing over map loads, but you know, we'll take what we can get.
My favorite tracks are in Zen, and we go so fast through there that we don't hear most of the tracks there either.
Yeah, it's truly a tragedy. Anyway, now we're on the Blast Pit, which I personally think is the coolest level in this entire run. There's a lot of grenade boosting around and very little waiting. Right off the bat here, Shvok needs to get himself down this elevator shaft, but immediately after that, he's going to go for a very nifty strat that we call puddle skip, because you skip walking around a giant puddle. So what he's going to do, he's going to get to some rails at the bottom, and he's going to start priming a nade. And again, because he has very little friction when crouched, he's just going to keep jumping with that nade, and then once it explodes, he's going to get a bunch of speed, and he's going to pull a second one. He's going to build up a ton of speed, going faster than, I think, Kovic or T-Mob or someone did the math. He's going faster than a bullet train here. And if everything works out, he hits a slope.
Nope, not going to get it today. So I'm going to do the safety strat.
Wait, one more try. Aww.
In the interest of time. Yeah, so there's a slope there, and you have to hit it at a very, very specific angle with a fairly specific amount of speed for it to launch you across the puddle there. I got it in practice just before the run went live, but, you know, of course I can't do it live because...
And so basically, yeah, what would have happened is he would have dived right into the pipe that he just walked through, rather than having to walk around on the scaffolding. Yeah, because of the higher resolution of this game compared to previous Half-Life titles, like, there's a lot of slopes that are borderline invisible. That one is really tiny, but you can see it. There's others that are bigger and, in theory, easier to hit, but you can't see them. So there's really, like, no good option for that boost. You just kind of have to pick whichever thing bothers you less. Not being able to see or not being able to hit the slope.
Yeah, and during a
save
live
that much
run...
time, like 8 seconds, but everybody does it because it looks so cool.
It looks so juicy.
Yeah, it saves almost exactly 8 seconds.
All right, now we get to the real fun part. So we have a lot of buttons to press here to turn on some jet fuel nonsense to roast a big monster in the middle of this map. And normally you're supposed to go through the center of the map and dodge the monster and then leave the center of the map again on a different catwalk. But it's much faster to just take the shortcut on the outside. And the way we do that is with our friendly grenades and unpause boost.
I think this Hound Eye is eating the grenade damage here.
I think
It's the railing, I think.
yeah.
Yep, there it is. Yeah, it's like
No. Just hold your second grenade higher.
there we go.
There we go.
Some of these boosts are they can be a little finicky sometimes.
Yeah, specifically with those double unpause grenade boosts, it's very fanky. You'd think holding the grenade lower would blast you higher, but actually, like, it's weird. You hold it level and it just like shoots you into the air and also gives you a ton of like way more speed. I guess because technically it's closer to you when you hold it out level rather than die. Well, I actually have no idea how it works.
Probably has something to do with the fact that the origin of the player character is not where you would expect it to be.
That would make sense. Big boost. All right. So here we get to our first button. There's some very sneakily hidden barnacle tongues that blend in very well with the lines on the walls here. Can't imagine that was intentional. The first of
There's
many.
3 total here that you have to dodge, and I just dodged one of them, and then I have to dodge the same 2 leaving that I dodged coming in, which is there's one there and the second one's there.
And if the grabbing the ladder from the outside, because you can grab ladders from way further than you would expect by just tapping E, the use key.
Yeah. Should note, anytime he like moves through anything while grabbing a ladder, you technically teleport. So since you don't actually move through anything, it doesn't count as a clip, even though it looks very much like it.
It's the same principle as using the airboat in Half-Life 2, where
Yes.
the camera goes through the airboat, but what happens is when you enter the airboat, Gordon just gets teleported behind the steering wheel.
Yes.
So I do want to explain real quick. Going up that tall ladder there is what we call a fast ladder climb. I know, very creative naming. And basically, we're spamming, while we hold W, you spam crouch and jump. And sort of like a rhythm. And if you do it right, oh, that was a really good boost. And if you do it right,
Delicious.
you'll skip major sections of a ladder and be able to climb it faster.
Yeah, Gordon more or less like the action is very akin to inchworming your way up something. I don't know, that's
Yeah,
the
actually,
best
yeah.
way I've ever described it.
The Gordon worm. Gordon knows the worm.
Indeed.
And
why
Gordon
that's-
is a worm, the way he's squirming on the floor constantly.
Yeah, that's the theme of this game. In Half-Life 2, Gordon is a boat. In this game, Gordon is like a snake or a worm or what have you. A legless lizard,
Ooh.
perhaps.
I just missed the ladder.
Uh-oh.
So there's a little bit of air strafing, and then we grab the ladder, just like that. First try. I don't know what you guys are talking about. That was clearly first try.
Of course. Everything's first try if you do it in
the
a
first try that
marathon.
matter.
All right. Are you gonna hit the close vent though?
That's what we're about to find out. Are we gonna get first vent?
All right. Cue your Among Us music as here we go.
No. Oh, and I'm gonna. Oh man, I got nailed by that. That can happen where you get nailed by that.
Oh.
That was
This map
very,
is-
very unfortunate.
Fun fact, this map is really funny. So going out of that silo, there's a bunch of vents, but it's actually an illusion because whatever vent you take, it eventually teleports you into the same one.
I never understood how that worked. Like it just like geometrically does not line up, and I never like thought twice about it. I was like, oh, maybe they have multiple of this.
Actually, need a little bit of safety
Like,
HP
wait.
here because that was incredibly unfortunate what happened.
So
Yeah.
suddenly, in that little silo, Black Mesa becomes antechamber.
Indeed. There's no like scientists in Half-Life that I know of that are like called Euclid or anything like that, which is unfortunate because it would have been prime for a good joke.
Speaking
Anyway.
of priming,
Oh, that was a terrible nade,
Uh-oh.
but I still made it anyway. so we're good. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm like choking everything tonight, but that's okay.
Just
Stop thinking about it. Just go, go, go.
Go, go, go. Less throwing, more going, as a wise man once said. That wise man being me.
Amen.
Right in the gosh darn head of that poor little zombie.
And this is
Alright,
the
here-
monster that we've been avoiding this whole time. And now we can burn it instantly because the puzzle is already finished.
Yeah,
Gordon's not a
so
very big fan of wildlife. I will say
normally you'd come in here through here 3 different times to go to all the different puzzles like as intended, but we skipped all that and didn't go till the very end there by nade boosting around instead of using the catwalk.
that. Yeah. And because it's more fun, because who wants to see a fellow walk past a worm 8 times when he could just, you know, yeet himself into the skies with high explosives?
The theme of Black Mesa is explosion goes faster.
Yes. Haha, SMG nade go burr. Alright, here we go. The most RNG map of the run, or the most RNG level in the run. Power up. There is a lot of AI that wants to get in your way here. And in theory, some ways to control it. So far in execution, not really any way to deal with it, and you just gotta pray. There's like 8 head crabs that Shvok just like passed by here, and he's gonna have to pass by all of them again. And they're all gonna do their best to just be right in his way and stop all his speed.
Yeah, all the AI throughout this entire map is insanely RNG, and so it's a mix of skill type movement and the AI not wanting to mess you over too badly.
I don't know. That's a very generous use of the word skill. That's all I'm saying.
Imagine complaining about 8 enemies like you've never speedrun Doom or something.
True. Yeah. There's not much more the speedrunner dislikes than RNG AI. Can't say I've ever met anyone who appreciates that sort of thing.
That was unfortunate.
Aside from maybe the viewers, which you
That
know
was
what.
unfortunate.
Oh,
Yeah, with that lever there, the puzzle was completed, and now we get to backtrack.
Uh-oh.
oh shoot! We
Excuse me,
forgot to
mate.
talk about the
Wow,
lever
the game is
strat.
eating my inputs.
Uh-oh. Yeah,
There
so
we
jumping
go.
off this railing is very finicky because the railing looks like it extends further than it actually does. Like the bent parts of the broken railing don't actually have any collision, and it makes for some fun times.
I do need some safety HP here because that was a little bit of a disaster running through there.
You bonked
Yeah.
the ceiling pretty hard, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things bonking you today. Might want to go get that checked out by a doctor. All right, here we go.
Not a single head crab block.
Single wheel.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, that makes up for what just happened. Holy crap.
We love to see it.
Oh, hello, Mr. Gargantua. Thank you for the boost. Appreciate you.
Oh, okay.
And the crowd is about to go electric here.
Boogie, woogie, woogie.
Does he get the boost off the head though?
I do not.
Oh, can you do that?
Yeah, when he like leans back, if you're near his arm, when the guard dies, it like leans back, and if you're on his head or near his arms, he'll like whack you forward. It's
I
very
didn't even
finicky.
know that.
Yeah. There's some wild stuff. A lot of little strats that could, in theory, are like kind of tricky, but could save time on this map. And then like if you ever run the individual level for this map, none of it matters because like you can go all the fast strats and they just get absolutely scammed by
Uh-oh.
AI.
What the heck?
Oh.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
no.
Your PC is too fast.
Shvok here has the NASA setup where he has one
There we go.
PC playing the game and the other PC streaming it just for maximum efficiency and the shortest load times in the community.
And what happened there is he tried to save delete before the map was loaded in, so it save deleted the previous one instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We
Also,
have saves and stuff. My nerves are getting the better of me.
Maybe we can calm them down with a donation or something.
Yeah, let's get some donations in here. It's a good time.
All right, no new donations for now, but I take a quick minute to talk about the generous sponsors that helped NoReset pull off this marathon. First of all, there's Outer Minds that are currently working on the awesome-looking Turbo Kid that everybody's seen in the trailers between each run. There's Auto Quebec that helped NoReset associate itself with Les Petits Rois and Aubureau.co that offer co-working spaces tailored to your company's needs. So once again, in French from the top. So je veux aussi prendre un petit moment pour faire mention des généreux commanditaires de NoReset qui ont aidé à concrétiser ce marathon. Donc Outer Minds qui développe avec acharnement le jeu Turbo Kid que vous avez aperçu dans le trailer entre les runs, l'Auto-Québec pour faciliter le contact entre les Petits Rois et NoReset, et aubureau.co qui offre des espaces de coworking qui répondent à vos besoins. So once again, everybody, we have a bunch of incentives coming up, including the extra boss in the White Day run, as well as all the hot sauces that G-Virus needs to ingest over the course of the weekend. We're almost there. We're pretty close to Tier 3. I think we're only about $700 off from it. And actually, I just got another donation that came in. So Tedka, who's giving $11.06, mentioning great event, great cause. Also wanted to hear the godlike voice of, okay, thanks a lot, Tedka, of me, myself, and I. Thank you all for the awesome stream. Thanks a lot, Tedka. Your generosity is very appreciated.
Yo, while we're at it, shout out Ziggy for the flawless transition between the two languages, rattling it off perfectly. That sort of switching is not easy.
That's a pro move. That's a pro gamer move right there.
Absolute legend.
I enabled the console command, so I'll chill.
You guys are cheating too? Wow.
Cheating.
All right. So that was fun. On a rails, a lot of buttons. This first map is relatively uneventful in that regard. Now, we gotta. So on a rail, we don't. These SMG nades are very important, and so this is one of the other levels where we don't actually save delete very much because we want to keep these SMG nades on us so we can move around fast. Because there's a lot of long hallways, and walking down a long hallway is very slow compared to blowing yourself up down that hallway. And so we're gonna. Shvok's gonna go out of his way to pick up a few of these and make sure that he can go as fast as possible.
Zoom maximum speedage.
Yeah.
I just made that up. I don't even care that that's not a word.
On a rail would be one of the sickest levels in the game if it wasn't for all the waiting you have to do between sections. There's a lot of doors and some cutscenes. Oh, delicious.
The developers tried very hard to make us use the trains, and we just don't do that to spite them.
Very much so.
Because somehow Gordon can run faster than a train in this game.
Yeah, straight up run. You don't even need advanced movement. Just hold forward. Does the trick.
Probably the game was kind of balanced around having to sprint like in Half-Life 2, but then they just give you an option to always run for free, because it's got to be more like Half-Life 1 at the same time. I don't know.
There's not even a sprint meter in this game, right?
All right, it's time, guys. It's time for Space Cone.
Everybody salute.
Salute Space Cone. We're sending him to space with the rocket. Don't ask us how that works by putting him on the platform. It just does, and there's proof because if you play Doom 3, there's a traffic cone on Mars. So Space Cone makes it to space. I rest my case. Don't ask me how any of that works. It just does. We salute Space Cone. He gives us good RNG throughout the rest of the run.
Cone just
There's actually the rocket. There's a very secret technique for even better RNG at the run, and that's actually not saving Space Cone, but violently murdering Space Cone. Shvok is a better man than me, though, so he decides to let Space Cone follow its dreams and touch the skies.
I do. And I just want to point out, Johan, that you're...
That heresy.
Yeah, exactly. And Johan's argument of being Mr. World Record holder and deleting Space Cone no longer holds up because the current world record holder saved Space Cone. So
straight up didn't. Pull up the clip. Pull up the clip.
He straight up did.
Space Cone off. The
Night save Space Cone.
There's just no way. No, it doesn't matter what he tells you. Watch the clip. That code did not end up on the rocket platform. Anyway, here we SMG nades. So now we get to launch the rocket, which honestly is probably one of my favorite cutscenes in the game. It just looks cool.
It really does.
Can't imagine it's very.
Oh, shoutouts for you getting through that with so much health. That is harder than it looks.
Yeah.
There's
I
like
just realized that.
8 soldiers there.
There's a lot of enemies in this game that have stormtrooper aim. The HECU soldiers are not one of them.
No. They have like aimbot, built-in aimbot. It's actually kind of disgusting.
And the fun fact is, it used to be even worse in the beta version.
Oh no.
Yeah, so one of the advantages, in a way, as far as the soldiers are concerned, is Crowbar Collective said that in the final release of the game, they actually had to tone down the AI because in previous versions, including this one, like just casual players were complaining that the AI was too accurate and too hard to fight. So they actually toned it down in later versions. But yeah, they're basically aimbots, and it can be very tricky to dodge.
I feel like that's just like a tricky thing about like shooter bots, right? You have to intentionally make them bad, but not
Oh,
like
that was butter movement there. Oh, Pog.
delicious.
Oh, Pog. That was delicious.
What a champ. And that was on a rail.
And now we're about to be off the rail.
Yep. Very, very quickly thrown off of that rail, in fact.
Off the rail and into the gutter.
Indeed. So this is apprehension. At this point in the story, we've caused the disaster. Aliens have happened. The government sent in the military to clean it up. That's why we're fighting them. And we've become a little bit of a threat. So they're going to start setting some traps, both the aliens and the military, which we'll see here in a moment. Coming up here is everyone's favorite shark, which fortunately there is a sacrificial scientist here. That is a very yummy snack for sharks. Much less armored than we are. And so while the shark is busy snacking on that fella, we can just open the door calmly behind him and just get out of there. Well, water in this game is very wonky. Sometimes you'll try and like... I don't know. It's hard to explain. The less you have to deal with it, the better.
Johan is a notorious hydrophobe.
Indeed. I have partaken in many questionable strats just to avoid touching the oceans.
There we go.
Hey Shvok, you wanna let the people know what can sometimes happen in this room?
So
If you don't clear it very quickly.
Yeah, okay, so I had a very unfortunate experience that the tile on the other side of this wall here that you can't see because I'm now inside the room, there's a tile panel that's detached from the floor, and a head crab, if you don't kill the AI in there fast enough, a head crab can get stuck under there, and that happened to me in a very insane pace run, and it just completely killed the run because I thought I'd soft lock the game, not realizing a head crab got stuck underneath that floor. And that matters because the scientist is coded such that he will not open that door until all of the aliens in that room have been killed. So that's 3 Vortigaunts and 4 head crabs, I think, that have to be deceased for him to open the door.
If you're interested in seeing the truly adventurous things that can happen to you while playing Black Mesa, Kovic put together a wonderful video. What was it called?
The pain of Black Mesa speedrunners.
Yeah, so if you just search that on YouTube, _Kovic, you'll find it. It's a piece of art, and that clip is included in there, and it's glorious.
It is. That video includes basically all me, and what we call what we've coined in our community Shvok moments, which are random crazy things that seem to only happen to me in this game, and well, there's a compilation of it now. Most people do frag videos. I get LOL, look at this idiot videos. But you know, hey, here we are. It is what it is. It's
some people do frag videos. You do lag videos. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of okay. No. Oh no, they caught us. What are we gonna do?
Do you think maybe they put us in a trash compactor? Maybe, I don't know. No spoilers? Is that spoilers? That's kind of spoilers.
Probably the
They wouldn't
Marines
do
are
that.
just a bunch of nerds watching too much Star Wars. That's how they came up with that.
That's actually why Gordon doesn't get crushed here. Is Disney has to get involved because you know the trash compactor's been copyrighted.
Yeah, you don't want Disney coming down on you. Do we have any donations by any chance? Because we got another spot here where you'll have time to read a few.
Not for the moment, but there are a couple of links in chat. One for the donations, one for the upcoming schedule, and one for the list of hot sauces G-Virus will be eating once we hit $5,000. So that's getting pretty close at this point. I feel like I think we're only about we're still about $700 short on that. I feel like we might be seeing some hot sauce, some McDonald's McNuggets in hot sauce pretty shortly.
I have a bottle of, it's now been eaten, of Da Bomb Ground Zero. I love hot sauces.
Well, that explains why you were late to the tech check now.
I didn't have any today. I have none left. I ate it all. I have like mild hot sauces left. So
anyway,
I'm
This is
personally a
residue
KFC guy. They have like those spicy schnitzels.
so is that what Czech KFC has? They have schnitzel instead of chicken.
So this this pipe coming up has some really interesting physics. So I'm going to quick save here because it's very easy. Oh, that was actually quite beautiful. It's very easy to take damage and or get insta-gib moving through that pipe that fast.
Delicious.
Beautiful.
Yeah, the pipe is more or less a railgun. It just kind of accelerates you out of it. Now we're in the trash, down in the dumps. Sorry,
Yeah, this is everybody's favorite chapter in the game, residue processing. Never has a chapter been more polished and had more thought put into it than residue processing, and that goes for the OG Half-Life and Black Mesa. I mean, this is not at all a filler chapter in any way, shape, or form. You stop that. You stop that right now.
Oh, I think it's kind of cool. You know, you're in the guts of the facility. You know, it's kind of a factory setting. Everybody loves factories. As like settings for like action stuff.
Everybody loves a factory. I agree. My favorite factory is the one in Interloper.
Indeed, exactly. See, that's why anybody plays Black Mesa, because they want to explore factories filled with aliens.
That's what it is.
And various green goo. This level actually went through a little bit of a revolution recently. Like it's there's a lot of swimming through water and movement, very similar to like what you'd run into in Unforeseen Consequences. And it was rather untouched IL for a while, but at some point, I think it was over the summer, people just started grinding it, which was really funny. Because like
Mainly, didn't Escape kick that off?
Yes,
I thought
Escape and
so.
Fable. Escape, not really a name you really see much when you look up like the full game times, but very, very influential in finding strats and pumping down some of the IL world records. One of the convenient parts about the fact that we save load so much throughout the or sorry, not save load, save delete so often through the full game run to like manage to make resource management not a thing. That means that we can also run the levels by pretty much the exact same route that we would run them in full game. There are very few exceptions. And so running ILs is actually fantastic practice for speedrunning this game. And I mean, if any of you are interested in picking up Black Mesa or trying out the speedrun, that's 100% what I recommend. Just boot up We Got Hostiles and just start running that level.
All right.
No, yeah.
Time for a technical movement central.
Will he be squished? Are we getting a Shvok pancake here?
That was actually really clean crushers.
Let's go.
And shout outs to trip mines above conveyor belts? Question mark.
Oh, this is actually not good.
Uh-oh.
Okay, good. I skipped it. Ooh, I clipped it. That's good. Whew. That was almost going to be not good, but I clutched it out, so we're good. Normally, I have a strat where I can just bunny hop through there, but unfortunately, I got stuck on something and had to do the satchel backup.
Yeah, it's very hard to on a lot of those satchel boosts at the beginning to like make a save while you have a ton of speed, because like when you load the game sort of runs for like a quarter of a second before it actually shows anything on your screen. And so if you have a lot of speed and then you load that save, then like you just go flying and you can't really control it. So you kind of have to get a lot of the movement cleanly in one go. And if you don't, things get pretty slow.
Yeah, you kind of have to like, if you're stuck in the air, you kind of have to be predictive about it. So there I used, instead of using a nade boost, I used the quantum pause to use the hound eye attack to boost me over that electrified fence there.
There's a another strat you can go for there, where you shoot a little piece of wood that's holding the door closed. But that is not safe. A safe strat for people with NA aim. So
Roof.
I was gonna make that joke, but you were fast.
my bad. What we lack in aim, we make up in speaking quickly. You know. So this is questionable ethics. Honestly, probably my favorite level casually. Here
Yeah,
you really,
same.
yeah. It's got fantastic atmosphere going on. We'll see more of that lobby that Shvok just sped through. Casually, you find out here like sort of all the things that have been going on before the accident occurred, and there's just a lot of nice little details to look at, and it all culminates in a very fantastic moment that, this being the no clipping run, we actually get to see and we don't just skip.
Oh,
Let's go.
that was really unfortunate.
Oh.
I'm
Yeah,
choking.
it's one of
the
my
movement
favorite pieces of
bad.
design in Black Mesa, because that fight is there literally just to be a gotcha for all the veterans of Half-Life 1. Like, haha, you thought you know what's gonna happen? No.
Yeah. And also to show off, you know, Jill Nielsen's banger soundtrack. You know, you gotta flex that.
Apparently that song was just a song he had in his backlog for years, and he just plugged it into Black Mesa and everybody loved it.
I mean, it works. It works real well. So here, Shvok has to press some buttons to turn on a laser, because unlike in the original Half-Life, you can't just go talk to the scientists. You have to blast a hole in the wall to get to them. Unfortunately, there is a very questionable experimental laser with very few safety standards here that we can use to, you know, blast open that wall. And also, we get a very important gun here. Very important gun. This is the Tau cannon. Which if you've never seen it in a Half-Life, if you've never seen a Half-Life run before, you're in for a treat. This thing just gives us a bunch of speed backwards whenever we charge it up and shoot it, and it becomes a very important piece of, very important tool for going fast here in the later levels.
Very much so.
We have people
Yeah,
mentioning the
small-
Tau cannon from Half-Life 1 in chat, so they're going to be pretty happy about that.
Yeah, it's back.
Yeah.
It's back. Didn't want to spoil it. Didn't want to say anything earlier. Didn't want to spoil anything. You know. Just kept... And here it is.
All right. So in this part of the game here, kind of have to be a little bit careful, because this scientist right here, we nicknamed him Twiddledee. Twiddledum is this one up here. They can sometimes it get wonky and swap places, and if that happens, the game will soft lock completely, and there's nothing you can do but reload the map. So it looks like we're good. It can happen, and it's happened to me at least 3 different times. There we go. We're good. No soft lock. Yay. But yeah, it's something that can happen, unfortunately.
There's a lot of wonky things you can do. That's those scientists. Usually, most of them for the worst. Anyway, coming up
It
here.
doesn't really come up for casual players that play the game maybe once a couple of years, but speedrunners comes up a lot more.
For sure.
Yes. Anyway, I think here we're just gonna shut up and let the moment speak for itself.
And that's the QE lobby fight done.
That's a wonderful showcase of how the SMG is overpowered.
Very. There's a neat bit of tech where if you reload the SMG before the magazine is completely empty, your reload takes like half as much time. What are you doing over there? I feel like this lobby fight is the reason I got into Doom. It's very similar sort of vibes.
Oh, yeah, because you spawn camp all the enemies.
Exactly. Yeah, I love this moment. You spend like the entire first half of the game just like crawling through sewers and like cramped little hallways and dark areas and whatnot, and then you just bust into this bright lobby. You see the sun, you're almost outside, and there's just a swarm of soldiers trying to stop you. And the music's the banger. Unfortunately, it's followed by a minute of waiting.
All right, if we have a minute, I have a couple of donations to read off, if you don't mind.
Let us know.
So we have 569 given by Ayaka Kami. Thanks a lot, Ayaka. Very appreciated. And 672 by Decapin 316, who mentions that he couldn't resist rounding off the total amount to $2.22.
Seems like a very coordinated donation we got going on there.
Oh, well, that was very unfortunate. There we go.
Oh. Bong.
Bong. That's the theme of the run today.
Yep. We are coming up to the actual best chapter in the speedrun.
This chapter has had this chapter got very interesting for almost a month. So I'll let Kovic and Johan speak to that and just its general evolution as I play through it here.
So right off the bat, okay.
Nope, not gonna get it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so the strat here, there's like one you can go for that's like, I'd say maybe 5 seconds faster than the strat we're gonna see here. And in my opinion, it's the single hardest strat in the game. You basically just get a bunch of speed with SMG nades and then bounce off a very tiny slope that's basically invisible. Displacement technically would be the right term. And then we need to surf along this cliff here to avoid touching a giant kill trigger that prevents us from just jumping down the dam. We get to the end of that, and there's like a helicopter fight that we skip the entire thing of. And so that's more or less what you see there is what we're going to get through the rest of the surface tension, which is just big open maps, save delete for explosives, use those explosives to launch yourself to the end of the map, and repeat.
Yeah, there's like a
that
mini
boost there
boss.
is very beautiful. So what's happening there? There's a slope behind us, and we boost into that slope with a bunch of speed, and the curvature bounces us upwards at an insane height. And a similar thing is here. It's kind of hard.
Yeah. This map is like one of the last maps in surface tension that we really cracked. There were like a lot of strats for them, but none of them were too good. And we finally found a couple that were just really rock solid. But yeah, so surface tension at, oh god, it's been a while now. I guess I'd say at the beginning of 2020 was like a 6-minute map. Sorry, almost a 7-minute map. And that was like if you got really lucky. There was a lot of stuff going on, and there was a lot of RNG, and a lot of them, because there was a lot of RNG at the end, the other maps, people hadn't really felt like optimizing them, because like, you know, what's the point if you just lose it all? But then a guy, like we mentioned earlier, Xscape came along and started fiddling. And really just turned a lot of these maps into start at the beginning and launch yourself to the end. It's a lot of really creative boosts. Here's, oh god, it's so pretty. Oh, can we stick the landing?
I got it second try, which is actually
Delicious.
Canyon Skip. Canyon Skip is actually, I would say, maybe the second hardest thing to do, or it's up there. It can be a very tricky skip, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there for sure. But yeah, this is the first level where it's really just you're blasting yourself all over the place. I love explosive boosting, so this is my favorite level. I think most of us love explosive boosting, so this is our favorite level.
Oh, let's go! He did it.
Oh, delicious.
First try.
Yeah, and so again, at the start of 2020, the world record was at like 640. This is for the no void category, but it's a very similar route for the most part up until the end. And then just by a lot of the work from Xscape and some contributions from other people, you know, I found a thing or two. And we ended up bringing the world record down to, I think when Xscape stopped, it was like 432 or something. And now it's actually, well, we hit the legendary. Oh,
Pog!
oh, it's clear.
Holy! Yes!
Yeah, so this is a room full of mines, and the first set of mines just sometimes explode. And they were just so stunned by Shvok's deliciously clean boost into there that they just vanished. They couldn't take it anymore. They couldn't deal. They had to get out of there.
I haven't had that glitch happen in I don't know how long.
Yeah, it makes navigating this room much easier, so we're always happy to see it. Of course, there's also something that can happen here. Sometimes you'll just be chilling in the elevator and the room explodes and you just like soft lock. But that didn't happen, so we're good.
That was poggers right there. I'm so happy that happened. Oh,
Hell yeah. That's why we love surface tension.
Oh, this one coming up, that's a cool strat. So we've seen a quantum pause glitch before, and we're gonna use it now to get speed from these aliens that are teleporting in. Because when they're teleport in, the game. So in order for Gordon to not be stuck inside the alien, the game pushes you away at insane speed, and we use that to fly upwards and over a building.
got it.
I think this is like the single coolest boosting technique in the game. It's just every time it looks so gosh darn delicious.
And also the skip is absolutely massive because there's a bunch of offices and other spaces that you have to move through, and like 3 combat arenas.
Yeah, casually this map takes forever, and even with the old speedrun strats, this map was not fun. And the next
Yeah,
game's like, oh, let me fix that.
That basically, I mean, we pretty much skipped the entire thing right there. Like that was that's huge.
Yeah, speaking of skipping a lot of casual gameplay,
No.
so here's a trampoline, and if we just blow ourselves up as we hit the trampoline, we get extra height, which lets us go places that we weren't supposed to go, and just casually walk around everything. There's like the whole you get ambushed in event section here, first encountering snarks and whatnot. All of that stuff's supposed to happen here, but Shvok is going straight to the end of the map. He doesn't care for story moments. He's just trying to go
this
fast.
quick save thing.
Uh-oh. Yeah, so there's the trampoline there, and so that you don't die, or so in case you die after you jump on a trampoline, because you might just die from fall damage, the devs were kind enough to put an autosave trigger around that. Unfortunately, if you have a lot of speed, you'll hit the autosave trigger, and then miss the trampoline, which just sort of locks you into a terrible save where you just reload and immediately die. Fortunately, we got around that pretty quickly, and yeah, just done with that map.
Okay.
Oh, going for... Oops.
I expected a save delete, to be honest.
I expected that rocket to blow up the boxes. A lot of surprises here.
It's these kind of interesting things always happen in marathon runs.
I mean,
I don't know what ate the rocket damage there. I've never seen that happen.
let's be real, these things just happen in Shvok runs.
Just shock moment. There you go. Right there.
So this is the escort map, the dreaded escort map. It's actually not that bad. It's a little RNG, but compared to anything compared to power up is no big deal. So we just Shvok's gonna
I
have
think this is way worse than power up.
You're just out of your mind. There's just no way.
I mean, he is Czech.
Because occasionally one of the alien grunts just survives the huge fight between the Marines and the aliens, and he camps at the very end near the booth, and then your security guard that you're escorting comes there and he just smacks him over his head and kills him instantly, and there's nothing you can do.
Okay, that is fair. There is a chance that you lose a ton of time, but it's not very likely. Compared to power up, where it's pretty much guaranteed you're gonna lose a bunch of time just stuff beating your way.
Yeah, having this coming up here, this like little escort mission, the security guard can die very easily, and there was one night that I had this when I say that this map went critically wrong, that's no exaggeration. I didn't even know this map could go that badly, because that grunt that Kovic was talking about was still alive, plus 2 other grunts, plus almost all of the Vortigaunts, and it was just it was awful.
Hey, remember that one time?
Error to general failure.
Yeah. You remember that one marathon run where you just straight up shot the guy you were trying to escort with a rocket?
I did not want to bring that up.
What was it? What killed him?
What? Oh, the
I thought I
Vortigaunts
killed
survived.
everything there.
Uh-oh. Yep, that's the escort mission. I cursed it. I'm sorry. My bad. That this one's on me. I said it wasn't that bad.
Where you?
Oh, he's hidden.
There's the grunt right there.
Yeah.
I found the culprit.
That dude kind of just gets like frozen in his position on the roof though, because sometimes you'll see him, but he won't shoot because he's too far back.
I think he's trying to bath to you. Doesn't know how.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, AI's funky. Anyway, we did it.
Hey.
Fellas have been escorted.
Now he's gonna go safely home, right?
Yep, of course. Everybody from Black Mesa makes it home safely. You know.
Government doesn't drop a huge nuke and take the whole place out. That doesn't
Hey,
happen.
spoilers!
What? Oh, I'm sorry.
Spoilers from games that came out 21 years ago. Golly.
And then some people would say that opposing force isn't canon, but those people are wrong, obviously.
I mean, there's no Tau cannon.
That
in
was
opposing
buttery
force.
smooth movement.
Oh! Yeah, this map is very common. You see it done very poorly because usually when you're in this map, you're on a good pace in service tension IL. But yeah, if you run it well, it looks delicious, and that's what we're seeing right here. Fun fact: the car antennas have collision, so you have to be very careful to strafe around those. Otherwise, they will just bring you to a screeching halt.
So this game also suffers, this particular version of the game suffers from a memory leak. So I'm expecting it to crash in this chapter. If it doesn't, then we're officially in uncharted territories. Are we gonna crash? It's kind of like the BFG crash in Doom Eternal. Yep, there it is.
Okay. I am obligated to say that in the latest release you would get on Steam, this is fixed, but we run a slightly older version for speed-related reasons. Like when the developers added an invisible wall somewhere, and we don't like it.
And several props in our way for us to stumble over. And extra cutscenes.
But that's why we save at this door, because we expect the crash to happen here.
Yeah, if you don't get the crash to happen here, then like it's a good chance it's gonna come later, and you just pray that it doesn't happen in an area where you like can't really save.
Usually for me, if it doesn't happen there, it happens going into a tree or hamburger map in Zen.
Yeah.
One of those two, and it will mess me up royally.
So this is Forget About Freeman. It's kind of like Service Tension Part 2. It's honestly also a really sick level casually. Definitely one of my favorites, but it's really short, and so people usually forget about it. I made a highlight video of some of my speedrunning moments from 2020. And there's like a little bit at the beginning where it just like cycled through all the levels, and as the name goes, I forgot about this level just completely. Oh my god, it's a snark. Oh, he's gone.
No bugs. This is a bug-free game.
Oh, this is. I'm just gonna just let the music play.
This is the one bit of music we don't skip because there's a long elevator here. Counting.
Only count with Gordon.
One floor. 2 floors.
Wait, this isn't No Void. This isn't the counting speedrun.
Pog. Oh, that was really clean.
Let's go. Oh my!
That was so clean.
That was nuts. He picked up the teleboost from the boarding gun as it spawned in. Oh, that was buttery smooth. I've never seen that before. That's so cool. Bad Knight, why are you doing that? The kind of Knight in chat, current world record holder for No Void, absolutely cracked at the game, like minutes ahead of everybody else, and that's the kind of thing I expect to see from him. I guess not. I guess we're seeing that stuff from Shvok now. You heard it here first. Night washed. Shvok stocks on the rise.
True story. So that part that I just boosted by there is your first look at the female assassins that are in Half-Life. And so we just skipped that entire arena by boosting right past everything. Although sometimes you still can get back boosted by them as you're flying through the air.
It's a good time. So
This is another arena, but here we need to kill the enemies for a scientist to open the door.
yeah, we can't encourage him in the same way that Half-Life 1 speedrunners do.
So, fun fact, during this scientist's dialogue, he mentions that there was a group of them here waiting to see who was going to let Gordon in, or wait behind to let Gordon in. And he mentions that they draw straws to see who waits. Well, this scientist is randomized. So every time you come through this chapter of the game, this scientist will be different, which is a pretty cool little detail. I think that's a cool detail. I don't know. I'm a nerd. I'm a turbo nerd. So
Yeah, you're a nerd. No.
I am a turbo nerd, man. I'm wearing the shirt. No shame.
It is a cool thing, though. Who would bother making random scientists for a throwaway line like that?
Yeah.
You know, the game might have its flaws, but it was made with love.
Very true.
Yo, speaking of RNG though, so coming up, there's actually a really funky strat here. Casually, you're supposed to turn on 2 separate water pumps to flood a reactor. However, Black Mesa is very funky about its counting. So Shvok is actually only going to go to 1 pump here and turn it on, and then he's going to exit and enter the map 3 times. And as a result, the game will think he activated both pumps because some variable somewhere just counts entering and leaving and like take that 1 marker up to 2, which then lets him open a door that he needs to progress. However, sometimes the game is funny and says, nope, I actually want you to enter and exit the map 4 times this time. And yeah, so we'll see. And if that does happen, you don't find out that the door didn't open until like 20 seconds later. So yeah, fingers crossed.
I think there was a theory about why it doesn't work sometimes, but I actually forgot. I can't remember.
Table suggested that if you save loaded or loaded a save after you did the like counting thing, sometimes it'd get finicky. But like I've loaded saves before, it's been fine. Where it always started happening with me is when I started setting trip mines in the map the first time I moved through, and then when I came back, then it wouldn't increment for some reason. But it does increment when I exit and leave 4 times, so I have no idea. Oh my god, what a bounce.
That was I saved it.
Indeed. I like that boost. It always looks really cool because you just shoot out. You dive in there and then you just get launched immediately back out the same way you came in.
That's really unfortunate. Both of those zombies were right where I needed to go.
Uh-oh. Hey, fella's just trying to be noticed. They're like, hey, you want to be my friend? Alright, here we go. Get your counting hats on.
This is really sketchy, HP-wise, for this section, actually.
Oh yeah, watch out for the hound eyes then when you exit.
I forgot about those guys.
Yeah,
Might want to throw a frag grenade there or something.
So this is cycle number 2. And this should, if everything worked right, this is cycle number 3, and we should be good.
Please.
It's probably not making a save at the wrong time because you can make a hard save here, and if it doesn't work, you can load it and just add the 1 cycle that you need.
Yeah. Oh, very kind count eyes. Usually there's like 8 in his way, and this time there are only like 3. We love to see
I killed 2 of them on the way in.
Yeah, that's like. Sorry, go ahead.
The door was open, so I got it in 3 cycles.
The
Unfortunately, I
game
can't do my satchel boost here now, though, because my HP.
I don't think that actually
work.
Yeah, no, the water stops you immediately.
No, it works.
Maybe it saves like a tick. I can't rule that out. I can't rule that out.
Listen, my timer says it works. That's all I'm telling you.
I mean, there's like a lot of other things in that level that could affect that timer. That's a long map, you know. It splits really late. I don't know.
Man,
I'm not sold.
Throw in the shade, Johan.
I need some more convincing.
All right, so Johan, would you like to tell all of our fine viewers about the 3 versus 2 nade controversy here? Whoops.
All right, so coming up here, as you see right now, is a very uninteresting little nade boost just to skip some ladders. And you can do this with 2 SMG nades. It's very ever so slightly harder. I beg to differ, but you know, that's what people say. Or you can do it with 3. And which way you do it hardly saves any time. And yet it's one of the things we argue over all the time because, you know, surely the things that matter the least, that are the hills that matter the least are the ones worth dying on, as everybody knows. So,
well, so at
I
the
feel
time,
very strongly about that because doing it with 2 nades is technically faster and more optimal and whatnot, but it's kind of hard because you need to be at the very top of the pipe there. But if you do it with 3 grenades, even a trained monkey could do it. It is unfailable. And
so
therefore,
there's a
I like
oh,
it.
that was so smooth.
delicious.
Oh no.
So you've heard of infinite monkey theorem. There's a Kovic speedrunning theory, which is very much related in that your routes should be so good that you should only need 1 monkey to actually be able to your route should be so easy that you should only need 1 monkey to be able to execute it successfully. This joke fell flat on its face, but you know what? I put my best foot forward.
So by rocket boosting there, we skipped an entire secondary teleporting generator section with a small mini puzzle, which saves quite a bit of time, minutes.
It's a wonder what a little bit of a handheld anti-aircraft rockets can do for you. You know.
So now we have 2 fairly lengthy cutscenes going into Zen. So I don't know if we have any more donations or any shout outs that you guys would like to do.
Yeah, well, definitely. I can take a quick moment to talk about the foundation that NoReset is gathering donations for at the moment. Basically, the foundation is called Les Petits Rois, translated in English to the Little Kings. So for you Anglophones out there, their mission is to help with the education and development of intellectually disabled children, whether or not they're on the autism spectrum. They accomplish this by working on projects that offer stimulating and adapted environments to help these children on their path to a life of autonomy and growth. At the moment, they're working on developing a cutting-edge smart home that's equipped with tools that are designed to help support the daily routine of these children, all while contributing to their autonomy, self-determination, and learning capabilities. I think it's a fantastic cause, and I would like to invite everybody here to give generously during this marathon, and even outside the marathon if they can. Once again, from the top in French. So, je vais prendre ce moment pour vous parler un peu de la fondation pour laquelle NoReset ramasse des dons. Il s'agit de la fondation des Petits Rois, les Petits Rois, excusez, pour utiliser le nom exact. Ils ont pour mission d'aider à l'éducation et au développement des jeunes qui vivent avec une déficience intellectuelle, qu'elle soit ou non sur le spectre de l'autisme. Présentement, ils travaillent sur un projet de maison intelligente qui est équipé avec des outils qui ont été créés dans le but de supporter ces jeunes-là dans leur routine quotidienne en contribuant à leur autonomie, leur détermination, leur autonomie, leur détermination personnelle et leur capacité d'apprentissage.
Also, I'd like to take this opportunity to say, look, the game has RGB.
Real gamer stuff going on there.
Real RGB.
Speaking of gamers, these guys are such gamers that if you break their monitors, the game it's a game over. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, I was messing with some strats here that involved shooting a rocket in this room to like boost yourself in certain ways, and the game would always like reset. Or yeah, the game would always like game over like you just saw there, and I never really understood why, because you can directly shoot the NPCs with like rockets or like the Magnum and they'll be completely fine. And then yeah, one day I realized like, oh, you just shoot the screen and it breaks and the game says that was mission critical. So GG.
Yeah, those monitors are really needed to watch Gordon throughout his Zen progress, and they take that very seriously.
I mean, look at all those colors. There's all those lines and stuff. Possible trajectories of the Gordon bullet train.
Are you doing that with your mouse, or do you have a key for that?
I'd use my mouse.
Oh, conveniently the arrow keys that like make you go at the exact same speed as those things turn. Anyway, we got the jets now. We got the long jump, which now we can boost ourselves with an explosive, like we're explosive boosting without even using explosives.
Or we can do both for extra mileage.
True. Suffice to say, we are about to break orbit after this 3-minute cutscene.
As Johan has said in previous marathons that we've run, Zen is the part of the game where Gordon learns how to fly.
We're not there yet. You gotta wait for the moment.
Don't you usually say that here? My bad.
No.
See, I'm terrible. I'm bad.
I say it when we first
everything.
get to Zed, and then I mess up the first strat, so it's all ruined anyway.
And
Yeah, we have to wait here for the teleport into Zen to open. In Half-Life 1, that's one of the parts where they get a lot of time save on us, because what they can do is they can take the beehive weapon and shoot a bee into the teleporter to make it open instantly, but sadly it was fixed here, or rather the bug was never implemented in the first place.
yeah, the other thing where OG Half-Life runners get significant speed on us is the first test chamber where Gordon pushes the sample in that causes this whole thing to happen anyway. Currently in Black Mesa, there is no known way, I don't think, to skip that. So, you know, in Half-Life 1, you'll see them do these really cool, this really cool pixel perfect boost in the test chamber to skip it. We cannot do that.
The Black Mesa devs were a lot better about leaving leaving random change level triggers floating in the air.
Apart from that one box in the RP.
The holy box. We got to show that off after the run. Just run to the end of resin processing real quick and just demonstrate. I don't know. The world needs to see it. Also, honestly, we could like learn to start doing this fight because like you could do this very easily and still have enough health and ammo for all the boosts coming up afterwards. But this buttery smooth movement works just as well. So yeah,
I like to show off the fact that these alien controllers, despite being like supposed to be a high tier enemy in the game, they're completely harmless. They are worse than stormtroopers with regards to their aim. They couldn't hit an elephant if the elephant was doing anywhere near any sort of movement whatsoever. So as long as you run around in circles, they are physically incapable of hitting you.
and they've got the biggest headshot hitbox in the game.
Yeah. No teleporter bug, no teleporter bug. Sweet.
Yeah, you have HP. Engage the Doctor Who theme.
So what happened there when you jump in the teleporter? And do we know what causes that? I don't remember if we know.
I think
So
it's-
there's a damage trigger underneath the teleporter, so you don't jump into the whole machinery, and it's probably a bit taller than you would like, and sometimes you can hit it, and it gives you insane damage.
Yeah, you'll
Because
go.
if you
go ahead
jump
with,
into
like,
the
10
teleporter
health
too early, it's basically an insta kill.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is Zen. We have long jump now, which we can chain together very easily. And every time we save delete, because we're in the end game, the game gives us a bunch of our weapons, which means lots of explosives. So once Gordon stands up here, you know, a little bit of sore muscles after all that traveling, we see here that this is the part of the game where Gordon learns how to fly.
And so this is the first map of Zen skipped.
Bye-bye.
Shoutouts to low gravity as well.
Oh, yeah, that's a huge one. How much
Yeah.
lower is it?
I think it was like 20% or 25%, something like that.
Yeah.
At least, maybe even 50. I don't know actually.
Yeah, it's not the easiest to notice when you're just long jumping, because long jump sends you higher than your normal jump anyway. But if you try and like move like regularly here, as you would in the like with like bee hopping and sliding, like you would in the earth sections of the game, it is very much. You definitely notice it every time you jump and you're just in the air for like a second. Also, story-wise, so now that we've survived the military and the aliens beating and whatnot, we got to put a stop to things somehow. So I guess the scientists explained a lot of it, but yeah, now we're being sent to space to kill the single powerful being who is keeping this all up. Got to put a stop to it, Doom style.
Mm-hmm.
You can see some very beautiful lighting here. So this is the part of Black Mesa where the original Zen levels were not really well regarded, and so the dev team in Crowbar Collective, they just decided to throw that whole thing into the bin and remake Zen entirely. So it's way longer than in the original. There's like, I'd say, 3 times more maps here, and they're bigger as well, and it looks so pretty.
It does. I'm a sucker for, like, game about a man far too angry to die and ethereal space environments. Oh, it's juicy.
Oh, not quite. Unfortunate.
Oof.
There we go.
Let's go. Yeah, so a lot of there's a few button puzzles like we saw in the lab here a moment ago, and one coming up. There's like a few button puzzles, but for the most part, a lot of Zen is very similar to Surface Tension, where we're just boosting from the start of the map to the end of the map.
Yeah, Surface Tension is an appetizer, and now we're in the late game. We have all the weapons in the world, we have tons of health every time, and the maps are pretty open usually, so we just make a small rocket out of Gordon every time and go into orbit.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, there's no space cone in Zen. But I guess that makes sense because Zen's a different dimension. It's not actually like the same space as where the rocket went, right?
We've already established Space Cone makes it to Mars somehow.
Yeah, which is
Sure.
the correct space. That's the space Space Cone wanted to go to.
It's what
Otherwise-
Alpha Labs is in Doom 3 is the part where that giant laser beam is in Doom 3, and that's where you see Space Cone.
Of course, it's the Alpha Labs because only true alphas would save Space Cone.
Hey, what, hey, hold on, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? What are you trying to say here?
Oh wow, I don't know what displacement I hit there. That was really unfortunate.
Yeah, so boosting through Zen is really fun, but moving through Zen is a little finicky because unlike the hallways of Black Mesa, the ground is never flat. There are always like curves and bumps and edges, and the textures don't really communicate them too well. And so it's very easy to bounce off or like get stopped on things that you can't see. And there's not really a better way to learn them than just brute force through it until you just basically memorize where they are.
What am I? I don't.
And this hallway in particular, the
There we go.
leaves, they actually have collision, even though they're leaves.
Wait, the
This,
leaves have collisions?
Like
Yeah, like the things that are hanging off the sides there, the red ones, they actually have collision.
that was fail central there. Where'd that? There it is.
Yeah. So unfortunately, there's a giant leaf door at the end of this map. Oh, there it is. At the end of this map, so we can't. Well, there are very very dubious voodoo ways of getting through that. But for this category, we have to blow up all the. Well, for this category and all categories that really anybody runs, we have to blow up all these little tumors here, and we shoot 3 of them. It's more or less a fancy button puzzle, and it'll open the door. But fortunately, the areas to get to those tumors that we need to shoot are pretty open, so we get to do some fun boosting for the most part.
Now this is the river, and I see Shvok is doing the new strat here.
Oh, that's good enough.
Let's go.
Let's
Hello.
go. Yeah, we used to do some really insane, weird, just like very finicky boosts to skip this river section. And then a new guy, Half-Life Source Runner, Action Storm, started messing with our game and found a much easier boost to get through this area.
I mess up an easy boost like 5 times, and then I get the harder ones like first try. I don't know what's wrong with me tonight.
That's what happens.
Every time.
I feel like that's just like a marathon thing, right? You just
It
mess
is.
everything up and then you just get the hardest one. Oh yeah. Oh my god, it's a snark.
Goodbye, sweet prince.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't use snarks for anything in this game. Half-Life Source does. That's a funny speedrun.
And I think Half-Life used to use snarks, but they don't anymore, I don't think.
I think you can do what you can use Half-Life 1 snarks the same way you can as Half-Life Source snarks, but it's much less. It's much more finicky or something. I don't remember. I feel like if anybody would know, it'd be Kovic.
Oh, perfect.
I do, but I find it tangential given all these epic boosts that are going on. Come on, guys.
So what we did there is we skipped around to the back of this map and we just hit the change level trigger from the back. So normally you'd come out of this map from over there, and we literally just did it backwards to skip basically the whole thing.
Hadman, he's doing it backwards. I don't know if it's in this version of the game, but there's like a really long water puzzle where you have to slowly raise the level of the water. And suffice to say, skipping that probably does save us like a good 3 minutes.
Oh yeah, I know what puzzle you mean. That's a different map though. It's in Gonar. Actually.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the 3rd map of Gonark. And you never see it in the speedrun because of a skip we'll do later.
Oh, okay. I'll trust you on it. You've played more Definitive Edition than I have recently, and
It actually gets skipped in Definitive Edition as well. I just played Zen casually. It's incredible, but there are some speedrunners of this game who never played the game casually, and they have no idea how to finish Interloper normally.
I am not one of those people. I played the hell out of this game casually, which is one of the reasons I was interested of, do people speedrun this game? And that's how I got into it.
yeah, pretty much the exact same for me. I need to go back and play this game casually again because it's sick. What are you gonna say, Kovic?
Yeah, same for me. I was like, I like this game a lot. Does anyone speedrun it? And back in the day, the answer was not really.
Yeah, a very important document, or I guess video for our community was Black Mesa Speedrun Explained, made by Kovic in like, was it March 2020?
Yeah, I need to check if it was 20. Yeah, but yeah, it must have been. Okay, so it was early 2020. Yeah.
Yeah, and he went through one of his PBs and he explained everything he did, and then it's like, because at that time there were no, there was like there were very few. It wasn't the easy to find like marathon runs of of Black Mesa, and so it was kind of hard without like actually straight up joining the Discord to figure out what was going on. And so that video got Black Mesa Speedrun Explained got a lot of us into this game. Some people still use it as a guide for how they should play.
Wow.
Makes me terribly embarrassed because my mic sounded like I was buried under 3 feet of water.
You were buried under the future of the Black Mesa community. It was resting on your shoulders, so I think it's fair that you sound a little bit buried.
Well, that's actually how I got really into speedrunning. Is I was searching YouTube for Black Mesa speedruns and I actually found Kovic's guide, and I was like, cool, there is a community.
Yep. We are here.
Oh, guys, I just realized we haven't explained why this is the hamburger map.
Oh, yeah, so it kind of looks like a hamburger. And unfortunately, we've never found a good way to cheese it. Otherwise, we'd call it the cheeseburger map. So, yeah, it's a 4-minute long, sorry, it's like almost a 5-minute long button puzzle.
I can't wait until we find a way to cheese it, because there's got to be a way. We're just not there yet.
One day, 20 years from now, T-Mob the 15th will open his third eye and realize, oh, we just walked to the end or something, and then we'll skip it. But that's 15 years away.
Look, GoldenEye speedrunners are still finding new strats all these years later, so there's hope for us.
There it is.
So this was thankfully the last button puzzle we had to do. So this is probably the most tedious chapter in all of Zen, I think, as far as speedrunning is concerned. Because
Yeah.
Gonarch's kind of fun, and then Interloper is blast off, and then it's the end. So
Yeah, thinking about like the theoretical best Zen you could humanly do, this single map is like 25% of almost. That's like
Wait.
20%.
You're right. Hold up. Wait, I gotta pull up the stats. I need to see.
because we can get through Interloper faster than this, I think, right?
No, not quite.
Not quite.
Okay, so
We're like 2
but
minutes off.
it's close though. Like a clean Interloper is pretty fast. Nice white loading screen here to blind everybody. Hopefully nobody's watching this in the dark, because I've just blinded you all.
Happens.
It will take me some time to recover from this.
This game's the reason why I need glasses. I've been blinded too much. Yeah, so looking at the golds, it's like a solid 20% of Zen is just hamburger map.
Oh, what am I doing?
Okay, and now we're in Gonarch's lair. And, you know, she's a large crab queen slash mother slash
There we go.
whatever. And she's really scary. And so we will just not fight her.
If I do this right, we will never see her until the very end.
Yeah, so no need to cover your eyes, children. There will be no scary monsters.
Also, what Shvok is standing on right here, so he boosted himself over the rocks, and what is out there is not really out of bounds, because there is a huge box around the level, which is called the sky box, because it has the sky texture on it, and what he was walking on there was the bottom part of the box. We're like inside the box, and he was standing on the floor of the box. And if you got outside the box, then you would be in actual out of bounds. But that's A, forbidden in this category, and B, kind of impossible as well.
Yeah. Gonarch is a very funny level because the devs just for this map decided to make all the world borders out of Swiss cheese. And so there's a lot of the, for example, we saw there at the first map, you just kind of jump out, and on the very last map, we're gonna see another little hole that we get to exploit in the not world borders, but like the sort of main area, the intended area. The walls of them are rather porous.
Yeah, the reason for that is so in Zen, to achieve this sort of natural terrain, the developers couldn't use the normal editor for the source engine, and they made their own, where they basically used some 3D modeling software, like really professional, like 3ds Max, to make the levels. And so all the walls are models, and it didn't work really well with Gonark because she's so big and thick, and she had problems pathfinding through here. And so what the devs did in some places, they just disabled collision for the models and put sort of fake walls for her to walk on. And that's going to be relevant in a bit because there's a hole in a wall. Like the wall it looks like there's a wall, but there actually isn't. And we will jump through the hole.
Just want to say shout out to Kovic here for learning new strats. We like to bully. Oh, okay, never mind. I shouldn't have said anything.
Not sure what happened there. But we never saw Gonark, so technically I was fast.
True.
Because if you're not fast enough, you'll actually see Gonark spawn in there where I was just dropping into this hole. So
we like to bully Shvok a lot about the fact that his entire strat book is like 2 years out of date. But I just saw a little explosive boost he went there that was like discovered like a month ago. So good on you, buddy.
It's
You're
been
going
updated
places
actually, and it's getting more updated. I'm just doing the things I know for the marathon's sake.
Shvok stocks on the rise. That's the takeaway here.
I didn't get that PB for nothing.
Guys, I
So-
want to complain. I think I saw Gonark for a frame.
Yeah, you saw out of frame, but you're never gonna see her again. So
we forgot the 4-legged arachnophobia warning. Doesn't like loading this map and just like these standard source map making tools take like 3 hours if it doesn't even crash to begin with?
Yes, some of these Zen maps are so big and so detailed that the regular editor just straight up crashes. Because the hammer editor is a old piece of junk software from ages past. It's legit like 15, 20 years old.
Here it comes, the hole.
Okay, so what Shvok is gonna do here, he's gonna set up at a very specific place, looking at this little bump in the liquid there, and he will set up 2 satchels, and then he will jump directly above the satchels and detonate them to go through the hole. And as I said before, the hole is there because the wall is fake, so that Gonark could walk through there because she's too big. And now we are once again.
Truck.
Yeah, we are once again at the bottom of the box, and now it's just gonna boost over an invisible wall. And now Shvok will hit the level change trigger from the outside. And now we're going into Interloper, which is where the fun begins.
yeah, so if you played the game normally, casually, as intended, whatever you want to say, this tunnel that I just spawned into is the tunnel that was to my right there. So you get into that tunnel after you fight Gonark, and then come out and exit as we just did here. So this boost here is called the Johan boost.
What? I didn't name it that.
I did. Pog!
Let's go.
Let's go, dude. That was almost an actual perfect boost.
Yeah, delicious. So yeah, Interloper is straight up just surface tension in space. There's very little waiting. It's just boost, 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 boost.
Let's go.
Oh, let's go.
I messed up the water movement a little bit, but that was actually a clean boost.
Heck yeah. Yeah, and so Interloper honestly went through a sort of revolution a little bit in the same way that surface tension did, in that at the start of last year, the world record for Interloper was like 11 minutes 20 seconds or so, and I think just recently, within the last couple of weeks, the Interloper record now is at like 6 minutes and 40 seconds. So like we've almost cut that time in half.
Can someone tell Knight to submit his runs, please?
Lordy, Knight world record holder for many categories, except he doesn't submit any of his individual level runs, and it makes us all sad. Well, it doesn't make me sad because it means I can see my name more on things. We'll take it for now. Also, banger tune alert.
How about that boost? That was poggers.
Let's go.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
All right, apparently on this map on Zen, I got kind of cracked there a little bit because holy. Well, I
Someone
missed-
needs to find a good setup for how to get from the bottom of the waterfall straight into this hole here.
Knight showed me one, I think. I don't remember how it works, but there is one. There's one I remember. It's a specific slope boost at the bottom. I don't know if they even used a satchel. It might have just been all-town cannon and long
I think it
jumps.
was a rocket, but I tried it and I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, well, I mean, knowing that it's an interloper strat, it's probably not Kovic approved.
I mean, did you see the Kovic approved strats I found yesterday?
No, I did not.
Now it's up to date with the strat book.
True, it's fast.
I don't know that I'm going to do him because I'm not comfortable enough with him yet, but at least during a marathon. So I need to do some Zen runs, Zen only runs.
Yeah. Zen
Yeah,
is
the-
where all good runs go to die. There's a famous quote from Mr. Kovic himself: "No run is over till interloper." Even back when I held the even back when I held world record, I had a run going into interloper where I was 40 seconds behind, and I made it out of interloper 20 seconds ahead. Or sorry, it was like 30 seconds ahead or something. Like, it's much less the case now if you have like a really clean PB, but like for almost like 99% of the community, like usually, almost like pretty much all of us have like a whole minute at least to potentially milk out of like in terms of time save to just like get out of interloper. Conversely, it's a very hard level, and you can very easily just lose 3 minutes out of nowhere.
So this part has gone under quite an evolution, Kovic, if you want to talk about that and the crazy boost we used to do here and how insanely difficult it was compared to this strat. Oh, Pog, I got that first try.
Nice. I'm almost embarrassed to mention this. So in this level, the original strat was that we went through a different way, and then in this large tube, we just planted 4 trip mines and 1 satchel in one place, and then boosted straight into a pipe, and we just hoped it would bounce us upwards. And as you can imagine, it was not consistent and reliable at all. And now we have 2 much better ways of doing that, which you can actually do more than once per 20 attempts.
I think the funniest part is just that like we used to boost from a lower area, and then someone's like, "Oh, we can just get up to this higher area," and then the boost doesn't need to be as complicated. And just like, "Oh, we may be a little stupid."
Might be something to do with the fact that the 2 guys who come up with most strats didn't play this chapter casual.
True.
Maybe.
Oh.
Okay, once again, a huge boost to fly towards the end directly. The destination is the tunnel up there.
Oh.
Shvok was almost able to bounce straight into it, but even taking these vents it's no biggie.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
still pretty quick.
Another map with a banger song that we just completely skipped.
My favorite Zen song is probably the one 2 maps ago when you first enter the factory.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. I like all the Gonar songs.
Oh
I
yeah,
gotta-
that's true. I mean, I
Like-
like all of Zen, but if I had to pick
Yeah.
favorites, I have that one or the song in the swamp that we also skip.
That's a pretty good one. I think my 2 favorites are Internal Conflict, which is like the last Gonar fight, I think,
Yes.
and the one where the guards are facing you. There's
Oof.
if I wouldn't move. There's a very specific lineup you're supposed to use here. So like save delete again and just do not move your feet up until you.
Yeah, I
come
think
back.
I may have moved because the setup is not working here.
Yeah, and just save delete. Yeah, okay.
Yep. That's weird. I did not move, and it's
You want to learn my strat here real quickly?
okay. I'm just gonna do the backup strat here because I
Okay.
don't want to
Yeah,
spend
to
too
the
much time
backup.
on that.
That's reasonable.
That's I'm not really sure what happened there, or why that particular strat wasn't working. So basically, the theory is you can just slope boost right up to where I just went there with 1 SMG nade and just bypass that little bit of parkour. So
It required. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, once we emerge from here, this is the single biggest skip in the game because this is a huge map with a ton of conveyor belts. But what we can do is we can plant 2 to 3 satchels here in front of this slope, and we boost over that large wall straight into the map exit. And it's really the single biggest skip because the map is huge and there's like a scripted sequence which is kind of like a Doom 2016 wannabe where there's the section where you pick up the BFG and there's the lasers. There's something similar here, and we can skip all of that.
Yeah, a lot of these conveyor maps are generally enormous. This one's pretty short casually too, but like the next one coming up too also has a bunch of conveyors, and that map also takes forever casually. Oh,
Basically, almost a complete. That was basically a full send, but I was almost flawless, and I just kind of got stuck on the conveyor belt there.
delicious.
I'd say probably that last boost I did with the satchels before this one with the conveyor belts, and probably big boost, which we're coming up on, are the two biggest in terms of time saved, as Kovic said in gameplay. Which let's start to get hype because here we go. Things are about to get super insane. So we've got 3-4 really big boosts coming up here, with the first one being Big Boost, aptly named because it's the biggest explosive boost that we do. Well, I think there's the full send elevator ambush.
No, I think biggest boost is still the biggest vertical boost we do.
Yeah, this is the biggest vertical explosive boost that we'll do in the entire game.
It's also the single biggest boost because then in the other maps there is a series of boosts, but every one of those is smaller than this one.
Yeah. This is one boost, one map. Full
and
send.
It is incredibly unreliable.
So I mentioned before that one of our strats was just boosting into a pipe and hoping. This is slightly better because it's not a flat pipe but a slightly curved wall. But that's about where the good things end.
This is the kind of strat like you have a hunch for it for a while and you just hope the hunch never goes away, because if it does, you're just never getting past here quickly ever again.
So yeah, there is like a setup that you could see Shvok doing where he plants the mines on a specific place in the texture, and then he plants the satchels directly in front of the mines, and then he looks at this red dot, and that's sort of reliable, but not quite.
Yeah, I think
The extra brutal part about this boost is that you'll notice that
I bounced off the wall. That was it.
oh, unfortunate. The extra brutal part about this boost is you'll notice that the wall he's launching into, let's go. There was a little lamp, and that lamp has collision.
By doing that we just skipped a lot.
Yeah.
And now, ironically, possibly the bigger time save is this, where there are 3 force fields in the way, and you can skip doing the puzzles to deactivate them by just airstrafing around them.
Yeah, it's like the easier the strat is, the more time it saves. Because like we're coming up to now, probably the hardest map in the not the single hardest strats, but like 3 boosts that themselves are not very easy. So it's probably the single hardest map in the game to do quickly. And
this
casually,
is very, very difficult coming up.
Compared to casual play, it saves like maybe 2 minutes. Well, no, maybe. Okay, actually, no. Okay,
compared to casual play, it saves over 3 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, never mind. Yeah. So this is an auto-scroller, and you can, in theory, skip the entire auto-scroller. There's an elevator that you have to ride up, but we have barely enough explosives to just boost past the entire thing, sort of in stages. I believe. Well, we'll see. So this is the first one. The first one is the hardest by far.
Yeah, this one's the hard.
And this is the one you have to do if you want to save because the old strats compared to what
Ooh, that's gonna be really shallow, I think. Damn it!
Just to explain what is the point here.
So
as was mentioned, this is an auto-scroller with a large, huge, ginormous, humongous elevator. And the exit is all the way at the top. And there is also a ambush there done by some alien controllers where they pull the elevator back down, and then they ambush you, and you have to kill all of them for the elevator to start moving again. And if you can get up there before
I'm
the
doing it
elevator
slowly.
platforms, you can just skip the whole thing.
I'm gonna do it the slightly slower way. I don't want to attempt that anymore in the interest of time.
Wait, you don't want to get stuck for 5 minutes on that on the biggest stage in speedrunning? That's crazy.
So this is just sort of a backup strat, which is, I'd say compared to the way that I normally do it, about 15 seconds, between 10 and 15 seconds slower, roughly. Somewhere in there, depending on how quickly I can do the generators coming up.
Hey, this used to be meta. This is how you did it.
That's true. Yeah, this used to
Three-fourths
be
of a
the
year
meta.
ago, 9 months ago. This is how you do this. So here's a lucky boost. There's a kill trigger around the central elevator shaft in this section, but the kill trigger doesn't actually kill you instantly, and so if we move through it quickly enough, and since we have full health and ammo here, we can actually survive through it with
First try. Let's go, poggers.
Let's go. Easy. Unfortunately for this last section, you can't just set up explosives and start boosting. You have to destroy these generators because there's a door in your way. That technically we've seen people clip through before, but we've seen it happen once and we've never been able to recreate it.
And wasn't it definitive edition as well, like the latest patch?
Probably, although I don't know if we have any way of knowing.
First platform. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I can still do the improvised boost. Skip. Let's do this.
So
This
with
is
Shvok,
what to do if I got the full send is improvised explosive boost to get a full send here. Oh my gosh, I got first platform. Let's go.
Let's
That's
go.
huge.
Yeah, so the boost that we normally set up here is like really, it takes a while for everything to get primed. And so you have to be way ahead of the elevator for it to work, for you to have enough time, because otherwise the elevator platforms get in your way. This is a neat backup strat though, where you get on the top platform, which is much easier to get to.
So this is a 12-second save right here. So
Yeah. This is also one of those things where it's just like nobody ever, like, it's kind of like obvious, but just nobody thought to do it until Shvok here. I think
Me.
came up with it like,
No, I did it.
oh,
yeah. it was
okay.
like
I am
You
claiming
want
this.
all the credit, okay.
Okay, gotta wait a bit more. So the level change is here at the level of the door, and it's also a special
Hello.
level change trigger
You
where
need
you
to
have to
back up.
stay in it.
It doesn't extend all the way to the door.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's literally on the level where the two parts of the door meet themselves. That's where the plane is.
Yeah. Alright, here we go. Last map of Interloper.
Yeah. So
Second to last map of the game.
on Nyleth, and then we'll be at time.
The very quiet little silence before the storm, though in speedrunning terms I wouldn't call Nyleth a storm.
Oh,
It's
that
like
was
an auto scroller.
Yeah, I think Nyleth is the easiest level in the game. Don't mess it up. Yeah, I'm sorry, you're gonna yeah, I jinxed it. My bad.
Oh man, that was really unfortunate. Well, that was a terrible example of how to do that boost, and that's a boost I came up with. That's the sad part.
That's okay.
I was
Riding the
gonna say,
elevator.
I haven't seen that boost before.
I
riding-
figured to make it work, just not tonight. Oh well.
Oh well, here we go. Time to
Alright.
fight the giant baby.
Oh yeah, Nyland. That's the boss shaped like a huge baby, which is meant to represent fear of one of the original developers from Valve about his upcoming fatherhood.
What did I do there? Okay. I don't know where my autosave went. That was.
Uh-oh.
He save delete
Well,
again.
at least I got the boost this time, so there we go.
Let's go. Intentionally, accidentally, quote unquote, reloading saves so you can show off cool strats.
I'm not. I think I tried to save delete too quickly there again, and it just erased the save. So unfortunate, but it happens.
You should get a slower PC.
No.
Yeah, dude. Longer load times make all the save stuff easier.
There we go. Okay. Now here we go. So This is the final boss fight, which has also gone under quite a bit of evolution.
So this level is really funny. Anytime you come up with a new strat or beat the record at all, before Kovic verifies your run, Kovic being one of the moderators on speedrun.com, he uploads one of his own runs from like months ago that happened to beat your PB by like 2 seconds. And like you can grind this map, you can beat his PBs by like a second or so, but it's just not worth it because he's just gonna have a new and significantly better time before your run even gets verified. So here we're shooting these like crystal shield generators from the back because the rocket like blast radius, I guess, reaches through, so you don't actually have to destroy the spinning shields in front of it like we have to do for this last one. And that gets us into the next phase of the fight. We restock up on ammo and then start breaking some of these shields here.
And then when he pops out his crystals, we planted satchels in front of every one of them, so we can blow the crystals up at the same time, which moves us into the next phase, because otherwise you would have to damage him, then he pulls out the crystals, you destroy one, then you have to damage him again, and that would be very wasteful. And now this is the final phase. Just full force blast him. The glow-on gun does the most DPS, so that's the preferred weapon. And when he runs
coming
out
up on
of
time
health,
here.
yeah, he will open his head. And there's a crystal inside. When then the crystal is destroyed, that's gonna be time.
Over.
So let Shvok save.
Yep, we're time. That's it.
We did it! Woo!
Great job.
Thank you. That was a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for having us. Again, really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun to do these things.
Thank you very much. I had a good time. I hope you guys did too.
I think we did. Thanks a lot for the run, Shvok. Appreciate it. Great work on the virtual couch to Johan and Kovic was great. I'm a sucker for bunny hopping and boosting tech in games, so it's enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
And I just want to say real quick to the production crew and to all of the viewers, because I know somebody out there, you probably need to hear it. I love you all. You're beautiful people. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a lot of fun. Remember that. You're beautiful. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I'm talking to you. You're gorgeous. I'm telling you, you're gorgeous. Anyway, had to get that out.
All right, so coming up next, we're going to have Morx QC, who's going to be performing an any % run of Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2. And after that, we're going to be jumping into a bit of a horror thematic with Amnesia the Dark Descent, that's being run by Lovebug ATDD, and then followed up by White Day, being run by Catlink. Speaking of White Day, one of our donation incentives will allow people to choose the outfit that will be used for that run. There's a choice between anime, low poly, and adventure, with anime currently in the lead with at $5.69. This looks like a pretty easy snipe to me for now for all the low poly lovers and adventurers in here. We're going to be back in a few minutes, and once again en français, un gros merci à Shvok pour sa run de Black Mesa et excellent travail à Johan et Kovic sur le couch virtuel. J'ai un petit point faible pour les runs avec beaucoup de techniques de traversion puis des gros boosts qui traversent la map au complet comme ça, c'était quand même impressionnant à regarder. Puis pour la prochaine run, on va avoir Morx QC qui va nous faire une run any % de Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2. Attachez vos trucs, les fans de Star Wars. Par la suite, on tombe dans un bloc de jeux d'horreur avec Amnesia The Dark Descent, qui va être présenté par Lovebug ATDD, suivi par White Day, qui sera présenté par Catlink. Comme j'ai mentionné en anglais il y a 2 petites secondes, parlant de White Day, un de nos incentives vous permet de choisir l'apparence qui va être utilisée. Vous avez le choix entre le style animé, low poly et adventure. Donc, animé, c'est présentement en tête avec la somme de 5,69. Ça veut dire que c'est un snipe facile pour les amateurs de 3D rétro et les aventuriers dans la place qui aimeraient se voir une autre présentation. On vous revient dans quelques petites minutes.